Hello, it's me again. As you can see, I'm home. I'm sat out on the patio. Simba's next to me, he's eating the plants. I'll have to tell him off in a minute. And I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about myself. Now you have to excuse my eyes squinting over to the other side. It's like I'm actually using a funny camera that's got the lens on the side of it, which is on my phone. And I don't know which way to look, so yeah, pardon that. You have to excuse me for that for a minute until I get used to it. This is my second ever video to go on Facebook, on YouTube. So here's my beginning of my story. And I was born in 1964, very long time ago in October. I'll be 55 this year. Always knew I was different, even from when I was about 3-4 years old. A little bit older as well. The games, playing with other children and everything like that. The kind of games we used to play, like doctors and nurses and things like that. You know, so like those silly old games that we used to play years ago. We had no computer games. It was all abacus and bloody slates when I was a kid. No TV, nothing. It was nothing like that. Up until I was 14, then we had TV. But anyway, always been different. Always thought, oh no, there's something different, but never fitted in anywhere. And I left when I was 16, went to college, catering college, didn't fit in there. I was kicked out because they didn't want people like me in that college. It was a tiny little college in middle of Wales. So, you know, so I just given that. Just in the early 1980s, so it was quite hard anyway. From there I went to Brighton, Birmingham, London, and now I'm in Devon. I was in Kent as well for a while. And I never fitted in anywhere. Never fitted in anywhere. I lived as a gay boy when before my surgery. Married a guy. Met 18 years ago, got married. We're not together anymore. He's happy in Plymouth with his boyfriend, and I'm happy in my little place with my doggies and my 16-year-old cat. Yes, so, but I've always known there was a difference. There was something different about me. And I did start when I was about 20, 21. This is going back in the 80s again, 1980s, and going, you know, to see about the gender reassignment and everything. And the first GP I went and saw, he was physically getting turned on because he was, oh, you want breasts like a woman, you want a vagina like a woman, and he was physically getting turned on by it. So that put me off that. Then when I was in London, I met a gorgeous doctor named Dr. Jones. Yes, like the song Dr. Jones. Anybody over 20, anybody 20 or under, Google it, Dr. Jones. She was Dr. Jones, and she was gorgeous. She was the one who said, yes, no, you are trans, Tony. Yes, you are. And she understood totally. Now, this was still in the 80s. I had a few trans friends as well in London. But it was so different in those days, so different. And then I moved from one part of London to the other, got another GP, and she turned around, she said, no, Tony, you're just a transvestite, you're not a transgender at all. Or in those days, it was just transsexual. There was no such word as transgender. So that's a new word. Yes, so, and then had a boyfriend, stayed with him for 4 years, had another boyfriend, stayed with him for about 4 years off and on. Then I met my last boyfriend, was with him for 11 years, I think we were together. We were married 3 years before we separated. He wanted to be a minister and I wanted to have the gender change. I could not live a lie anymore. I had to be true to myself, and that's what it all boils down to. So when I was 48, I finally got my surgery, but I have to say that actually from going to my GP and telling him how I felt, that I had gender dysphoria, which I've had a long time, you know, but I'd only come to accept it then. Saw him, and the way he looked at me, it was like, and I was with my now ex-husband, and we were just sat there, and the GP looked at me, and he said, and I looked at him, and I turned to my ex and said to him, see, I've shocked him. And my GP turned around and said, now, you've got to remember, this is in Devon, right? Now, Devon is, well, part of Devon we live in. We used to live in, it was quite small, about 25,000 people living there. That's all. And he turned around and said, no, Tony, he said, I'm shocked that you, he said, because I've never seen it in you. And I'm there going, well, it's on the screen there, look. Severe depression, dysphoria, blah, 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 and all the other things that were listed on the screen about me. And I said, so that shocked you? And he went, no, Tony. He said, and he had been to Brighton to actually watch a couple of surgeries, the gender reassignment happening. So he was all clued up about it, bless him. And he was so helpful. He really was. And he was really clued up about everything. Then, unfortunately, he decided to retire before I had my surgery. And then I was just shoved from pillar to post, different doctors every time I went there, different GPs every time I went there. But when I finally, and this is the thing, so after all the build-up of fighting and pushing to actually to be seen by somebody about my gender dysphoria, and it finally happened. Then I had to wait 6 months before I could start on the hormones, HRT as it were. So, and then it was, and I remember it to this day. It was May. It was on the May day, and I went to my GP, picked up a prescription of HRT patches. That's the first things I had. Went home all excited, pulled one out of the packet, slapped it on my stomach, and then it was like, oh, what do I do now? And it was literally like that. It was like, because I'd built myself up so much to get to that point that, well, it was just an anticlimax. It really was. It was like, oh, okay, now what do I do now? And then things happened through that. And after about 6 months, the patches didn't work, stopped working on me. But they didn't believe me and everything like that. And I had to have blood tests, and then they proved it. So it took them another 6 months to turn around and said, oh yeah, they're not working, so have the gel and everything's okay. I'm just running through all this very quickly at the moment. So because this is just going to be the gist of what I'm going to be talking about, is my personal journey. And each and every one of us is going to have our journeys. It's going to be so different from everybody else, regardless of how well you know the other person. Each and every individual will go through what they go through, and it will be totally different because our emotions are involved, and we can't feel the emotions of other people. I can turn around and say, right, this is what happened to me, and that could have happened to you, but you would have felt differently about it. But that's okay. Now, you know, everything's not in black and white. There are grey areas, you know, and we all deal with things differently. We all feel things differently, and that's still okay. We are still individuals, and that's what makes us who we are. Is the fact that we are individuals, and that's a good thing. That is the best thing ever, I can tell you. But anyway, going back to all the trials and tribulations, it was like I had to go to Exeter, clinic in Exeter to have, you know, gender clinic or whatever like that, to go through every 3 months. I had to go and see a doctor there, and then every 2 weeks to start with I had to see a shrink, basically, you know, sort of to talk about stuff. And I had to have blood test every 3 months to check the liver and kidney function and the hormone balances and stuff like that, and which was horrendous because I hate needles, to tell the truth. And it was like every 3 months I had to grin and bear it. And then came the day of my surgery, and went all the way to Brighton. Not even one drop of nervousness, nothing. It was just like, oh, okay. And the next morning, got there on the Monday. The next morning, on the Tuesday, I was woken up, no breakfast, which is, if you saw the size of me, you'd know I am a bit of a food lover. So, and then went to surgery at 8:20, and I was back in my bed at 12:30 on the same day. by lunchtime, awake, having had the surgery. And do you know, so the only time I said I was going to cry is because when they put the cannula in my hand, the needle was too big or something, and the anaesthetist had to do another one on my other hand, which I'm hating needles. I just thinking, oh, I'm going to cry now. And then that was it. I woke up and the surgery was done. And no pain, nothing. It was uncomfortable. Oh gosh, yeah, very uncomfortable. And but no pain whatsoever. Really, really no pain. And I was there for 8 days. Went there on the Monday, then I come back out on the Tuesday, the week after. And my very, very good friend, the bestest friend, Sue, and her husband Gavin, come all the way from Devon down to Brighton to come and pick me up, which was lovely of them, you know. So Gavin took a day off work and everything, you know, so it was just marvellous. And what happened? While we were in Brighton, Sue is a big Peter Andre fan. So there she was, dragging me through Brighton town centre to go to Peter Andre's cafe. Now, this was 8 days after my surgery, a week after my surgery. I was hobbling like an old biddy. But, you know, I'm glad I did it, and it was fun. And we still giggle about it now, bless her. And, you know, so like she's still there for me, bless her heart, and I'm still there for her. And I'm so happy to have the friends that I do have. And that's another thing that we are going to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk about on the next video, because there's so much to talk about. Families, friends, partners, and things like that. And my reason for doing this video, just to tell the truth, is that a few people that I know whose children are trans, or thought they were trans, but, you know, just one of the, you know, so that it was just like, no, not fully trans, you just, you know, you like wearing women's clothes, blah, blah. And a few of them have told me that the myriad of web pages that there are to help people like that, but it was the attitude towards the parents that was atrocious, you know. So like being told, oh, you have to watch a video of the surgery, the gender reassignment surgery, before you can talk to anyone, and how dare you talk to us, you are not trans yourself, so you won't understand anything, and things like that. No, that is so wrong. We are there for each other, we are there to assist, we are there to help, a shoulder to cry on, someone to talk to, someone to scream at, just to help, because we do need people out there to educate others about being trans and what it's like to be trans, and just to make people to understand and not just shove it in their faces going, look, this is me and you have to take me like this. No. You just say, this is me. If you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Simple as that. Plus, if you have any questions, within reason, of course, if you have any questions to ask, then ask away. And I, personally, am quite willing to answer them. Even before I transitioned, how I lived my life then and what I did with my life in them days, I shall cover. I shall do in other videos. And, yeah, there's just so many things that I do want to raise about the treatment of the family and friends of trans people. And there is a lot of bigotry out there, you know. So and I want to try. I know I'm only the one person, but I want to try and stop that, or at least calm it down a bit, so these people know that they have someone to turn to. They can't, you know, so that people can ask me questions about, what's going to happen if my partner or my best mate, you know, starts to transition, you know, sort of. How do we deal with it? What do we do? What do we say? And things like that, you know. And also for trans people, you know, that I'm there to help you as well. It's like help everybody who just needs someone to talk to. And any questions, you know, just to be there. And like a listening ear that is not going to judge you. That's not going to turn around to you and say, oh, no, you can't ask those questions. Maybe some, questions that you ask, I'll be like, hey up, no, you can't ask that now, all right? But you know, if I think they are too below the belt, as it were, I won't answer them, and I will explain why I won't answer them. And I am expecting all these silly questions coming to me about my being trans and how it feels and all that palaver. And I am going to get haters, and I know that. And haters going to hate, simple as. And there's nothing I can do about it. Just smile and totter on. That's all I can do, and that's what I will do, is just smile and totter on. But here I am, sharing my life to the whole world, if they want to watch it, and I'm prepared for that. I am prepared for anything and everything that comes at me. And if I answer, I answer. If I don't, I don't. But I will do personal messages as well. If somebody sends me an email asking a question, I will answer them via email or personal messages via Twitter or Facebook or Messenger. Then I will answer personally as well. And if there's enough people asking about the same topic, then I will talk about it on here, on my channel. And but I'll be covering things anyway. And if there's things that you think I should cover, about the hormones, about the regime and stuff like that, and whatever, you know, so basically each and every one of us is different anyway. So, you know, so it depends how much testosterone was in your body beforehand, and you have to have a blood test for that a couple of times before you go on to the hormone treatment. I know that's for the trans girls, trans women, but I don't know about trans men. But I shall find out about that because I know a couple of lovely trans people, trans guys, trans men, and hopefully they will answer any questions that I can answer you, as it were. So and I need to apologise if you're feeling seasick and getting motion sickness with this, but it's just one arm, and I'm old, and one arm up in the air is like getting very tiring. So anyway, look, but love you and leave you, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay then, goodbye, bye.